is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirts, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What's good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about the San Antonio Spurs after losing Paul Gasol to a buyout. They reach an agreement to bring back Motiejunas back to the NBA. A guy that has played pretty decent in China, never really been known as a dominant or a takeover player. He was a guy that has always known what he's able to do and what he can do. Just like most role players, you know what you can't do. You know what you can't do. And you know what you can do. And so Motiejunas played very well in Houston. I liked him a lot in Houston because he was able to do a lot of matchup dominance. If they, rotated out, he'll stay on the perimeter, knock down threes. He'll post up smaller defenders, and he can post up in general. He had go-to moves, light floaters, and quick shots that allowed him to score efficiently and take advantage of whatever opponent is guarding him. Obviously, the San Antonio Spurs are a team that does need a little bit more depth when it comes to bigs and versatility, and I feel like Motiejunas is very good at multiple things on the court, and he has been out of the league for years. It's just good to see him back in the NBA. I actually forgot that he even existed until I found out this news. That's how low-key and not that many people cover him or really followed him a lot in China, because you really didn't hear much about him unless you was keeping up with the China teams. And other than that, Motiejunas has been a consistent player. He fell out of the league pretty quick in his career, and he worked his way back up to the NBA level, and you have to give him credit on that. But I want to see how the Spurs is going to utilize him, because he's a guy that he's a skilled player. He really knows how to play basketball and how to create mismatches. And you already know Greg Popovich is a master of mismatches and forcing your opponent to really match it. If they don't figure it out, Greg Popovich will change, he will adjust, and he will strategize of how to get the best shots, how to take advantage of mismatches and opportunities where they can get easy buckets. And I feel like Motiejunas, he played very well in the Rockets at that time. That was before they had Chris Paul, obviously, and he was a guy that could really give you a bucket, and he was a guy that can really be an energy guy too, because you don't really know what he's going to do. He's a wild card. He can get 15 rebounds one game. He can go hot from three. He can give you dominant games from the post. But when you look at his career, the highest season that he had was 12 when he played with the Rockets in the 14-15 season. That's when Dwight missed a lot of time. He was able to give them 50% from the field, 36% from three, 60% from the free throw line, while also giving them 6 rebounds and 2 assists per game. And that just shows you his versatility of what he can do given the amount of time and amount of minutes. The main reason why he was out of the league is because a lot of people didn't feel like he was worth the money, even though he was young. And he still is very young, still to this day. But he really didn't. After that season, he really couldn't pull it together, and they really couldn't come to a contract agreement, and the injuries didn't help. But on top of that, people didn't feel like he was worth a $12 million contract, even though he did have that breakout season, and he has shown the ability to be a stretch forward while also being able to punish switches, which you want most of your big men to do, especially nowadays more than then. It has become even more popular that if you want a big man, you want them to be able to shoot the three, put the ball on the floor, and be able to take advantage of shooting guards and point guards and small forward that switches. And that's what Greg Popovich does already with LaMarcus Aldridge and DeMar DeRozan, and even Rudy Gay, is put the opponent in situations where they have to have the right personnel, and if they don't have the right personnel, they're going to attack that weakness in the defense and keep going at it. And if they don't, they're going to find ways to put them in pick and roll so that way they can get the right opponent on them and just take advantage of it. And that's what you do as a coach. You find ways to win games, and the best way to win games is out coach, out X and O, and find ways to continue to get good looks at the basket and good efficient shots. And the Spurs is not the greatest three-point shooting team. They're not the best team at defense, but they find ways to take quality shots throughout the whole game. You have to really respect and you really have to pay attention to everybody on the Spurs team because they can all impact the game. They can all get hot because the way they're utilized and the way they coach and the way that they play together. They play together as a team. They play with each other. They play with one another very well, and they communicate really well. That's building a great foundation of what you want from a coach and what you want from a team. And that's why they're so tough to beat. Bad teams don't adjust. The coaches don't make changes. They don't have enough talent. And the Spurs just continue to come at you. And then if you can't match their offensive input, 1 minute is a 5-point lead, next minute is a 10-point lead, or the game is close and you just can't get high-quality shots, while the Spurs continue to take high-efficient shots, and that usually beat out anybody else. And that's really the recipe of why the Spurs have been one of the best teams in the last 20 years, being a playoff team 22 out of the 20 years. 22 years straight making the playoffs, because this year they basically clinched the spot at this point as the teams are starting to get eliminated. They have shown that they're going to be in the playoffs. We just don't know what seed they're going to be. But I think this pickup is going to be very underrated because of that, the fact that he is a guy that can do and play multiple positions. This is a guy that's tall enough to play center, versatile, and mobile enough to play the power forward position also. And he can give you shooting with the right lineup. And he also can finish in the paint very well. And that's basically what you want out of the modern day center. The only problem that he really has is that he's not the most consistent player. He can have games where he's streaky. He can have games where he can give you 20 and 7, 20 and 10, depending on how the game goes. But that's his biggest weakness, is the fact that he can never do it consistently. But we don't know what has changed since he's been in China. We don't know the amount of minutes and what type of lineups they're going to play him in. They have a bunch of bigs on this team, like LaMarcus and obviously Jakob, but they do need a guy that can give them something more versatility. And I feel like when you look at Mitu and you look at Ben Moore and you look at guys like Drew Ebanks, you really can't buy into those guys. You really don't believe in those guys in the big picture, because this team is trying to get to the playoffs and they're trying to make a run at the title, even though I don't think they have a chance to really win it because they don't have enough talent. He's going to be a guy that can come in and give you more than those three guys, and you're not going to really pay him that much anyway. And he's a guy that you can always waive next year or just play this year, and he might help you against certain lineups and certain matchups. But other than that, personally to me, he's better than the other three backup bigs that they have, especially at that power forward position. And he can give you a little bit of what LaMarcus Aldridge gives you. Can he do it efficiently? Can he dominate? No, but he can give you something that you don't have already. And that's the most important part. When you're making acquisitions like this and you're trying to pick up players of this caliber, you're trying to increase and upgrade talent. And I feel like the Spurs have done that with this pickup. And that's the most important thing, and that's the thing that matters the most. But at the end of the day, I really want to see, did he change? Did he evolve? Will he be able to stay in the league outside of this year? Will this just be a trial? Will this reinvent and resurrect his career? Will he be able to be consistent? Will he be able to help them win a playoff game? Will he be able to show that he can still get up and down the court? And can he still post up? Can he still hit the three? Will he just be a whole different player than he was the first time around in the playoffs? The regular season and in his career. So he wants to resurrect his career. He wants to rebrand himself just like Jimmer Fredette was when he got picked up. But Motiejunas is different. This guy has been out of the league. This guy has not been able to stay at a role player level at some point to certain people, and he still is looking to get paid, so people are going to really be watching and seeing what he can bring to the table, and that's what you want. You want to have the spotlight on you if you're trying to stay long-term in the NBA and you're trying to collect a good check in the NBA. He won't get that this year, but if he plays well and he shows change, and he shows that he can be more versatile than he was before and do it consistently, I don't see why Motiejunas couldn't be in the league 2 to 3 years from now on a team, instead of playing overseas and trying to fight his way back to the NBA like he has done the last couple of years. So at the end of the day, I really want to see how this is going to play out. Obviously, Greg Popovich and the organization see something in Motiejunas. They see the fact that he can be a difference maker. They see the fact that he has played pretty decently in China. He wasn't dominant. He wasn't going out there taking over games and crushing people, but he did exactly what the coach needed him to do. He did exactly what he needed to do to get back to this position, to be back in the NBA on a team that's high class, and they watch and keep up with every player. And he had to been doing something special to the point where they picked him up. And you got to think about it. Remember, a lot of people gave up on Boris Diaw. Boris Diaw was a guy that he just got released, and people just gave up on him. And people thought he'd be out the league. He gets picked up by the Spurs, and next thing you know, everybody wants the next Boris Diaw. He's posting up. He's playing in the high post, the mid post, the low post, and the guy is tearing you apart with passes. He's hitting fadeaways. He's hitting spot up threes. He's hitting the mid range. He's putting the ball on the floor, and nobody saw that coming because everybody gave up on Boris Diaw, and people thought he'd be out of the league. The Spurs take a chance on him, changes the way he's played, cater to a lot of the ways he used to play, and they got the best out of Boris Diaw at a late age, and it really revived and resurrected his career and allowed him to play a couple more years after people have already gave up on him. So Motiejunas can definitely do the same thing because I see a lot of the same characteristics. 2 assists a game, 7 rebounds, can hit the three, can put the ball on the floor, can post up. I see a lot of that in Motiejunas, and that versatility and that versatility is what the Spurs usually look for. Guys that got soft touch and able to play multiple positions while also being able to be a skilled player. And Motiejunas is definitely a skilled player, and that's something that he has been since day one. It just we haven't been able to see it that long because he got out of the league so quickly. So let me know what you guys think. Is Motiejunas a good pickup? Will he be a sleeper? Will he be a steal? Do you think he can still play at a high level as a starter? Do you think he'll always be a bench player, or do you think they're just picking him up to try to take a gamble on a guy that can possibly be something that we don't expect, like we thought about Boris Diaw when he got picked up at that time? Or do you think this will just be a solid rotation player that Greg Popovich will use, and at the end of the day, he'll be back out of the league? Because we've seen Jonathan Simmons. He gets Jonathan Simmons out of nowhere, and then he gets a long-term deal with Orlando and gets paid, and now he got traded to the Sixers, obviously, but he had an amazing career with the Spurs, especially coming to the fact that he wasn't even known at the time, and they turned him into a quality player that has still been in the league and was able to secure a long-term deal. And I said the same thing about Boris Diaw. They reinvented Richard Jefferson. That gave him longevity because he couldn't really shoot threes, and they was able to help him learn how to do that, and he became a journeyman after that. But he was able to stay in the league a lot longer than what people expected at his advanced age. Because of his three-point shooting and his versatility to guard and play multiple positions. And I feel like Motiejunas still has that ability to have that type of upside, especially with a Greg Popovich system where he's going to get high-quality shots, and he's not going to have to work too hard for buckets. And if you're a role player, that's what you want. You want to be able to play off other players, and they have DeMar and LaMarcus that can make his job a lot easier and take a lot of attention away from him, give him easy opportunities, and that can help build confidence also, especially when you're a player like Motiejunas, that really can benefit off that. So let me know what you guys think. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description, comment section below. Check out my Facebook page, analysisplayground.com. Link in the description in the comment section below. Like on Facebook to show support. Also, I do videos, discussions, and hot topics just like this. I also do the buyouts. I also cover all things NBA, whether it's trades, whether it's NBA breakdowns, NBA tributes to the legends. I also do the draft coverage, mock drafts, and I try to cover all things NBA. Check out my playlists on my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for support. Thanks for liking. Thanks for commenting. And also, Quinn Wade, Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching. That's why I continue to go. And let me know if you think this is a steal, or do you think this will be a flop, or do you think the genius of the Spurs is going to appear again when we see Motiejunas in the playoffs?